This year, the 8th Darlington Scout Group celebrated their 100th anniversary. To get some idea about where it all started though, you need to go right back to the beginning, way more than 100 years ago. In 1857, Robert Baden-Powell was born in London. His father was a geometry professor at Oxford University, and he had 9 siblings. After being an exceptional student, he entered the British Army at the age of 19 and served in India and Africa.
Inspired by his experiences around the globe, he founded the Scouting movement in 1908 when he published the first edition of Scouting for Boys.
Hello, you boy in the corner there. You ought to be a Boy Scout. You're a fine-looking fella, and I know you would make a jolly good backwoodsman by the look of you. You're ugly enough anyway.
His first official scout camp, now known as the Look Wide Camp, took place in 1908 at Humshaw near Hexham. The senior troop visited the site during their hike in 2014.
In 1915, John Lishman started the 8th Darlington Scout Group in Cockerton as something for local boys to do whilst their fathers were away fighting in World War I. And in the first few years, the group went from strength to strength.
In 1917, the Cub Pack was established.
In 1920, they were the World Band winner for drums and fife at the first World Scout Jamboree, followed days later by their first trip abroad to Belgium, and in 1936 they purchased their first marquee.
Camping is a pastime which oddly seems to have stood the test of time. The group still cook on open fires, wash in rivers, and pioneer gadgets from wood they find. In fact, the seniors sleep in a bell tent from 1937. Despite the premise of camping hardly changing over the past century, there is something about it which has constantly attracted lots of people.
Well, it seems a little bit rickety, Doctor.
Yes, but of course it's fairly easy to get it up. It's getting it to stay up. That's what counts.
In 1936, the group's very own magazine, 8th Mag, was launched. It documented scouting and camping news of both local and national importance. The magazine still runs today, but more about that later.
In 1951, the first annual garden fete took place on Cockerton Green. This is a tradition which has continued annually and still thrives.
In 1956, the first ever summer camp took place at Kingsmeadburn, a site which has proven popular since the group has returned there many times since then. They even went to the site twice in 2015 for summer camp and the alumni camp.
In 1967, the Den opened for business. The building, which had originally been a pub, had a hall built onto the back, and all sections of the group met in there. Before this, the group met at various places, including Cockerton School, Alderman Leach School, the Methodist Halls on Ashton Terrace, and Harrison's Laundry at number 39 on Cockerton Green.
Girls were first allowed to join the group in 1978, which was mostly a good decision, with a few exceptions.
I like being in the spotlight.
In 1999, Frank Beadle became the group president, and in 2002, the group started camping at Spennythorn, where they have camped most Junes since then.
And that, pretty much, takes us to today. It's January 2015, and the planning for the centenary celebrations are well underway, as well as the usual activities on the group calendar. First job, repainting the den.
The seniors are learning what paint is. It's a bit like messy play.
Another one was a guy holding 2 basketballs. They were great.
Hey Mavic, you missed the bet.
Substitute teacher, and he was like, "What
on your lens?" Yeah, it's been really productive. We've painted the rover room, and the ceiling's done, the chimney breasts are done, the walls are done. It's gone well, yes.
The final result was superb. They even left the unplastered section of the wall unpainted so people can see what the building was made out of.
The seniors are also in charge of the group's magazine, 8th Mag. It was established in 1936, however was reborn in 2013.
So, the 8th Mag. I suppose there's always been a lot of pictures taken at camps, so about 3 years ago I thought, wouldn't it be fun to put some of these pictures next to words in a magazine-like format? And then 3 years later, here I still am. So the process of making the 8th mag. Usually after a camp I conduct some interviews.
So what's one of your favourite events during summer camp?
I like it when you take the pans off the fire and then you put the water on and the washing up liquid and it goes
And then I can write the article. And then when the article's actually written, I email the article to Neil, who gives me feedback on it, and then it can go to publish. Admittedly, there is a typo every now and again, which everyone seems more than happy to pick up on. They're like, "Oh, Liam, you can't spell. You put mingling instead of minging." Well, you know what? Maybe the Billies were mingling. Maybe they were trying to make friends.
The seniors waste most of their time faffing around with crossbow toys.
The shot of the year goes to James Simpson. For Shrove Tuesday, the seniors decided to make pancakes, but some of them didn't even know what day it was.
Right.
There's pancake day B.
Yeah. Well, 100 grams.
Ready?
You ready? Stuff off pans
might fall out the end.
How's it going, James?
He's in a sticky situation.
They never end up much like pancakes, to be honest.
And the verdict?
Oh my god, I hope you're not going to let that pan burn through.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That is very good.
How'd it taste?
For the group open day, the seniors had a mock camp kitchen at the den.
We are preparing for our backwoods cooking at our open day for our 100th anniversary. We're going to wrap the sausage up and the bacon and the onion. And then we're going to put it on the fire. And it's going to hopefully cook, make us some food.
Then they needed to make the actual kitchen.
Out here. Right.
But we've already got one there.
No. It's going here.
I'd consult Neil first, personally. Hello? Where do you want this fire pit digging? There's roots here.
There's no roots for that. Ow.
Ah!
I can now see the root of our problems.
Yeah, if your box goes there,
It's there.
so no, it's there.
Boo!
If it went there, then it should open out that way.
In April, the group planted a tree in Cockton Green to mark their centenary. However, they discovered a drain pipe where they dug the hole.
It sort of goes.
That's that close to that.
It'll be fine.
We've also had an open day, which was fantastic. All the leaders were like, will it work, will it not work, will anybody turn up?
Bit nervous. Either loads of people will turn up or no one will turn up.
The place was rammed, it was fantastic, loads of people there.
There was different stands showing you what different parts of it down the Scouts do, like the Cubs, the Beavers, the Scouts.
I was on the Cubs.
The mayor was there and his wife.
We had your kitchen outside.
Yeah, we were outside
your
cooking.
kitchen as well.
Yeah. Would you like to come into our kitchen, Lee?
Cold smells of garlic bread is the only thing that anybody likes.
Yeah. Well,
Because the potatoes were
backwards cooking is also always questionable.
The potatoes were cooked, but they were just not nice. Then the eggs and oranges failed miserably.
I'm not surprised about that.
Just let people see what our group is about.
And there was like pictures put up around, and the museum was opened where it like showed you the scout things from like loads and loads of years ago up until today.
Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you to all of you who turned up today. It has been a fantastic turnout. I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed it, made new friends and rekindled old acquaintances.
The group has created a badge which we have all been given to celebrate 100 years of the group being in existence.
That method, and I think it's a good way of advertising to people and also being able to give out to people something that says, look at the 8th Darlington, they're 100 years old. So that's really good.
Congratulations on being in the group 100 years. You look nowhere near old enough.
The group has also created mugs for each section of the 8th Darlington Scout group, even though we know it's called that. Like this. To give to everyone who wants one, with different coloured lids to represent whether they're in the seniors, cubs or scouts or rovers.
Or anything else.
Anything else.
We've had a group photo, which again is something that the group has done from time to time in the past. I think it looks really impressive with all the group photos up there, so it's something worthwhile.
Save it for next year.
I've only pooed in the hole once, I've just realised.
The 2 cub packs run on a Monday and Tuesday night and are for children between the ages of 8 and 11.
We do lots of fun games. We also do some Star Wars, which is boring.
No.
It's not the most fun, but it's not the most bad either. Yeah.
For a lot of the cubs, the highlight of the year is partaking in Laser Quest at Planet Leisure.
So you have a gun and you try and shoot people and you have 10 lives. And if you die, you press a button and you respawn.
I got most kills out of anybody. I got 48, you got 1. I got
like 9 kills.
Over summer, there was a joint sports day between the 8th Cub Packs and the Ackle Cub Pack from Newton Aycliffe. This was an opportunity for Cub leader Neil's child-friendly and optimistically euphoric attitude to shine through.
Is it that complicated? Right. 2, 3, 4. No, stop it.
And then the races could begin.
My favourite bit about sports day was the tug of war versus the other people from the different scouts.
You can't do anything if you're not holding.
Emily, can you go on there? Because everyone's got their team. Nancy, ready? Yes! Go on, John! Go on, John!
Both cub packs get a biennial visit from Jay's animals.
Oh, I like the
yeah.
the hedgehog.
She licked me. She licked my face. And I was
Hedgehog club, not.
It tickles, doesn't it? It was awesome. The scorpions were on my arm. There were snakes around my neck.
It's going to eat you.
It was awesome.
I want a pet frog.
Keep still. There he goes. Watch his eyes. Now that's still in his throat, that one. He hasn't blinked yet. That's still in his throat. In a minute you might see him suddenly blink like that. They're still wiggling around inside, don't forget. If they try and wiggle back up, he'll come back down. So keep watching. He'll still have another. There he goes. See him blink there? Because they're still in his throat. Try another one. Come on, one more. There he goes. If it was daytime, it was
Anaconda. Ba, 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 ba. That went across our legs. Were you not there?
Of course I was there, Reed.
He's really trying to sting. Now he can't sting me because of the way that the tail is designed. It's like the hinge on a door, it can only move one way. When you shine it around on the forest floor, when you shine it onto them, they glow in the dark.
Whoa. It was Fantabby-Dooby.
The Panther Pack were visited by 2 illusionists who showed the cubs a trick or two.
What was the favourite trick that the magician did?
He's an illusionist, not a magic man.
Quite liked it when me and Ellie tied him up. That's funny.
Right, and then there was a teacher and a social worker and an RAF officer, and then somehow I ended up coming here on a Tuesday night to tie him up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right, well I hope Ellie and Ellie are thinking of some really good nursery rhymes to sing to you all, because I think I'm going to get out of this rather quickly.
He went on a bed of nails and I did. Yeah.
And I did. This Ian's assistant Michael needed an assistant, which was me, because I volunteered. So he put this special helmet on my head, round my neck, and put a sword through my neck, and I didn't feel a thing.
Because
it didn't go in your neck, it went like past your neck. Can't have, because I would have felt the metal. I didn't feel anything.
There was a plunge with a nail in, and he went like boom, boom. They were in cups. Yeah, in cups. You went like boom, 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 boom.
At May Camp, cubs go to visit for the day.
I'm excited. I cannot wait until they all arrive.
This is where they get the opportunity to play games, experience camp food and get a taster of what scouting is all about.
There was one where you had to run up and then put your head on a pole and then twirl around about 10 times and then run back. I kept on falling over.
The gamekeepers came to visit the cubs and they brought their hunting dogs with them.
There was this thing which the head, like a few scouts' head, and the dog just went and find them.
We threw a ball in the river, then he had to go and get it. Then the ball just sunk and then he went under the water.
The cubs also did a string trail.
We had to go in the woods and follow a rope. And we were blindfolded. Yeah, we were blindfolded with our knickers. And we had to get to the end.
I quite like the tug of war, the rope trail, and seeing the dogs jumping in the river and getting wet.
Surprisingly, the highlight of the day seemed to be the food.
The sausages were amazing.
It was tasty. I wanted more.
It's impressive.
The pudding was awesome. Because it was donuts. Yeah.
It's better cooked over fire.
Yeah.
Although on a whole 2015 was a great year for the group, on Saturday the 11th of July, Hannah Gargett passed away. She joined the Girls Scout group at the age of 11 and she stayed with the group for the next 16 years.
Even whilst working hard at medical school, she found the time to attend camps and Rover events. After she left Rovers, she was a leader at Cubs. Hannah was an asset to the group and will be sincerely missed.
The group organised a sponsored walk in July.
The sponsored walk was long. It was 12.5 miles, and it felt like a lot longer than 12.5 miles, but it was good, and we got to talk a lot.
So we started at the Den, and then we walked around the green, and we went through Mowden towards the Baydale Beck, and we went up there, and we stopped off at the Northumbrian water place for like food, biscuits, and drinks, and the toilet. Not everyone did the walk, like not all the Cubs went.
Are you enjoying the walk?
No.
No? Why not? What's wrong with the walk?
It's too long.
Did you enjoy the walk, Caitlin?
I don't know, because my knee hurts.
It was very fun.
Yes.
Hewins is Carter's or Simpsons is Hills. Janelle, have you enjoyed your day?
Absolutely, it's fantastic.
I could have done something better with my diet.
It was enjoyable. Yes.
Fantastic.
It's been very good company, sitting in the sunshine by the river eating sandwiches.
It's been very fun. And as John says, we got in touch with nature.
What was your favourite part?
The finish.
Although the Scouts travelled over 12 miles on their sponsored walk, there are 4 members of the group who have travelled thousands of miles in the past 2 years.
The 4 bears, Lishman, Pawson, Brigham and Beadle, named after significant figures in the group's history.
As part of the centenary celebrations, they have visited Disney World,
made friends,
drove a tractor,
met John Hopkins,
visited France,
cross-dressed,
sat on locomotion number 1,
spent Christmas with some leaders,
read a newspaper,
walked to Land's End,
been skiing,
flown an aeroplane,
ran an ultramarathon,
visited Universal Studios,
joined a tribe,
sat on a chair that is way too big,
submerged himself in sand,
met marshals,
sat on a moron,
went on a walk,
possessed swag,
formed a bromance,
been kidnapped,
and of course done the ice bucket challenge.
Can you explain the role of the committee?
Generally just keep the building going, because it's a very difficult place to keep going because of the costs.
Right efforts to keep everything going so that the leaders don't have to do it and the leaders can spend more time being leaders.
One of the most important jobs of the committee is organising the garden fete. The Cubs even give them a hand programme selling.
We've done really well with the programme selling this year. I think we had 1,000 published and we have sold them all, and we finished off at Cockerton this morning. People have been very generous and have put donations in without taking programmes as well, which is good.
Would you like It's your birthday!
Hold on, somebody caught in my hand.
Yes, no one!
So this is the PR highlight of the year, which is the garden fete. And what's pleased me this year is 2 things. One, it isn't raining.
Yes.
Secondly, the amount of helpers we've had, which is great. Hence why I can just sit here and look intelligent.
Well, there's a big tea tent. If scouts can't do a tea tent, there must be something wrong somewhere. Yes. Lots of old-fashioned games. Kick the ball through the tyres. Knock the cans over. I'm sure those cans are weighty, but I wouldn't go that far.
It's nice to see the green used as it should be used for the public and for everybody around in the community.
Usually at Scouts we do a lot of games, but we also do badge work and we learn stuff. Like we've done some work on trees, and we know which ones are good for burning. There's one that you find in cemeteries called a yew tree.
We sing quite a lot.
Bye, bye, bye,
Being angry and sad for the things that you do. Hey, Sheila, hey,
Each year there are 4 weekend camps: Easter camp, May camp, June camp and September camp. There is also 1 week-long camp during summer. For most people, this is the highlight of the year.
Describe summer camp in one word.
Fun. Dada. Wet. Mint. Strange.
Praise the Lord! Sinners! Praise the Lord!
Cold.
It wasn't that cold.
It was. I wore like 10 hoodies.
The seniors produced films documenting summer camp, and for the renowned voiceover role, they held auditions.
Promise me you'll survive, that you'll never give up, no matter what happens, no matter how hopeless. Promise me now, and never let go of that promise.
I promise.
Never let go.
I promise I will never let go. I'll never let go.
Both of these films can be found on our YouTube page.
What's the best thing about being in Scouts?
The banter.
It's pretty good. The best thing about Scouts is probably it's fun. You get to communicate with other people and like just make new friends, which is good for Ben because he hasn't been anywhere.
Probably the cooking competitions in the camps. Yeah, I like summer camp.
The Scout Cooking Competition is an annual event where the patrols battle it out to make the best main course and dessert they can. If they impress the judges the most, they win the Carl Milner Trophy.
Onion it. My eyes hurt.
What are you making?
Chicken curry and rice. I think so anyway.
Before they could start their main course though, they ran into a problem.
We have no passata!
What are you doing there?
Mixing the chicken in with some tomatoes. Tin tomatoes, should I say.
Some of them are a little bit disorganised, but it's all to be expected. By and large, they're keeping up the good standards that we've had in past years.
Out the rice.
I love a curry, so I'm looking forward to trying them all.
The hottest one will win.
Yes, in my book.
It's got no spice in whatsoever.
That'll do me.
But it's really nice.
What have you got?
Coriander. A sweet, heady aroma with a strong earthy flavour.
How did your curry taste, Sam?
Kind of bland, to be honest.
After main course, there was dessert.
The puddings were nice. Yeah, they were gorgeous.
Yeah,
absolutely delicious.
And in the end, there can only be one winner.
The patrol that's won tonight hasn't won this trophy for 15 years. Now then, can you guess who it is? No, you can't. But it's the patrol hours. You've won it. Congratulations.
Throughout the past century, there have been some important figures in the group. Frank Beadle was the group scout leader from 1957 to 1999 and the group president from 1999 until 2002.
He was the driving force behind many things the group did, including buying the den building, designing the main hall, finding new campsites and almost single-handedly running camps.
He was a man who dedicated his life to scouting and to this group in particular. He was very driven and could seem almost dictatorial in his drive to do the right thing for the group. But once you got to know him, he was kind-hearted and generous of spirit, an extremely humorous man and talented artist amongst other things, and fundamentally had the well-being of the group at heart. Indeed, his dying wish was for the group to continue.
He was tireless in his passion for the group, and I think he gave the group the sort of foundations really that it's got today. And continuing on from Frank then is now Alec, and I think again Alec's got that eighth mentality, if you like. You could almost say eighth mentality, that we want to keep this going, we want to be a strong group, we want to be the best.
In 1977, the group left the Scout Association due to the SA's move away from traditional camping that had been a major part of the 8th's appeal.
They then joined the Baden-Powell Scout Association for 20 years until 1997, when they too began to change the way camping was practiced.
Since then, the group has been independent and fully self-sufficient, moving from strength to strength while still camping using the same techniques used 100 years ago.
In August, there was an alumni camp where over 40 ex-members as well as current members spent the weekend reminiscing at Kingsmewburn.
An evening with the campfire, that you couldn't have expected a better evening for the weather.
Yeah, big full moon, wasn't it?
Yeah, moonlit field, and it was good.
I like the flowers, I like the daffodils, I like the mountains, I like the rolling hills.
Having said that, I think the rounders was a bit fixed. I'm not going to go into that. There was a lot of jiggly-pory going on there.
Yeah, I can't remember last time I played rounders either.
I want to play it ever again.
Yes, that's right. For Halloween, the Cubs had a party. There were vicious vampires, bloody butchers, werewolves, witches, and more.
The Cubs made mummies, ran relay races, and did some apple bobbing.
I came as a creepy clown and I had a creepy voice box. And
You were like this mad
Professor guy
that had loads of knives in it.
and blood and finger.
Wait. I bought a melon brain.
I did, but by the time I got there, mine was all there, deformed. So I never ordered it. Deformed pumpkin. It looked quite good. It had two faces. There's this one in the village where we went and we put the apples in the water. No, we got them out of the water. And
With our mouths.
yeah. Apple bobbing. That was good. Minus for the rest of the evening, all this and all my mask was soaked.
Yeah, we had to tie up our sixers in toilet roll and we lost. It's quite hard to wrap it around the person.
It also falls off sometimes.
In November, the seniors go on a bunk barn weekend together. This allows them to play confusing card games, go on a hike, and hurl radiator-licking allegations at one another.
So is that a yes or a no? Is that a yes or a no?
No,
you need to answer yes or
radiators.
I'm on my way from misery to happiness to thee. I'm on my way from misery to happiness to thee.
Right, Beavers is on a Friday night for all children between the age of 6 and 8. We generally run the same practice during the night, so we come in, do a game, do our serious bit of the lodges, and then we do a few more games, do loads of crafts.
And then we have another game to end.
And then lodge.
So what's your favourite thing about Beavers?
Having dodgeball.
Can you say sat down?
Playing dodgeball. Having fun.
Say sat down, you're out of frame.
I like it because when I first started Beavers, I met new friends, and some people in my school came and joined it.
Beavers, beavers, beavers. Sharing, sharing, sharing.
I like it when we crafty wafty. I saw William at swimming yesterday.
Great. Great bit of banter.
Nothing to do with beavers. The diving boards.
Oh, Christmas carols.
Yeah, the Christmas Carol concert.
I hate
That's bottom.
Yeah,
that's quite boring.
Yeah.
You can't say that. This is supposed to be a promotional video for the group.
I like it, but I don't like going up and singing.
And finally, what quality do you think has enabled the group to survive the past century?
Being a family.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that everybody pulls together and then just get on together.
And the fact that you know that there are lots of families involved through several generations.
I like the leaders and what they do with Bowers because they've done loads of things to organise for us. Just think of how much work they put into it.
You should have played the fake goal first, doesn't it?
Like independent.
Definitely camping. It's what we do best.
Like scouting probably won't do it the same way we do.
Is it like?
It's different because at my friend scout groups, they tell us about how they don't cook on like the fires that we do.
And if you don't go, you miss all the fun.
Sometimes you question why you're here, like when it's raining.
Yeah. Why am I like in a field in shorts when it's raining?
Yeah.
We had the Super Scout. I don't know if many other groups had the Super Scout. Unless we stole it off them.
I don't know. I just kind of like getting away from everything, really. And being in the 8th is just fun. Yeah, it's just weird. Like you meet weird people.
The family atmosphere. I feel like I have my brothers and my sisters here that I never had.
There isn't really a favourite bit for me because every night I like. No, Laser Quest because I love shooting.
If you could see me now, the one who said that she'd rather run, 'cause I've been too long in the wind and too long in the rain, taking any comfort that I can. Looking back and longing for the freedom of my chains, and I can almost feel your love.
Stop this! If you dare put this in the film, I'm gonna hurt you.